Well, g'day, Flatties and reality defenders. This is the legendary Critical Think from Down Under. Thank you. Well, today is the 3 Bitcoin challenge, day 3. And let's hear again what the challenge is.
Watch the daily video every day for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, if you think the Earth is flat, hit the question mark button and make sure your question isn't answered there. And if it's not, and you can prove the Earth is a globe, you win 3 Bitcoins.
No worries. Well, today's featured video is Flat Earth Dave interview. It's rather long, so we'll see how we go. So because it's long, I'll start with the housekeeping beforehand. So don't forget to like and subscribe. I want to get my subscription count up, mainly because there are people like Flatzoid who are disseminating disinformation. It's not fair that they should have subscribers more than me. That's what I'm saying. If you want to fight disinformation, then subscribe to this channel if you're not already, and help stop the spread. Also, I've got my GoFundMe, a link in the description. I went to Antarctica. It cost me a lot of money, and thanks very much to those people who have donated. It is a big help, and I really do need the funds. If you feel like you want to contribute to the channel, please do it in the GoFundMe. Thank you very much. And lastly, I'll put a link to the final experiments in the description. This will be a link to, when it's complete, all the experiments that are associated with the trip to Antarctica that was called the final experiment, but now we're going to name it the final experiments. So let's get on with the video today. Right, so this video is a bit long, so I've sped it up a bit. I hope I didn't speed it up too much.
This topic, how much have you looked into it?
Not a whole lot myself. I'm a novice. I mean,
Okay, good.
I read up on it.
Yeah, good. Dave's rubbing his hands together in glee because, as we all know, anybody who's not familiar with the topic are easily brainwashed by Dave's lies and misinformation. And so Dave thinks this is great because people who know the arguments and who know how to combat them, they're not very good targets for someone like Flat Earth Dave.
When we do get started, there was a CNN article back in 2019
that I was in.
Oh yeah, it was a great quote. If it's an accurate quote, they started the article.
What'd I say? I forget.
They said, quote, "I don't want to be a flat earther," David Weiss says, his voice weary as he reflects on his personal awakening. Would you wake up in the morning and want everyone to think you're an idiot?
Yeah.
Great, you got your wish, Dave. Everybody thinks you're an idiot. No worries with that.
That is an accurate quote, and my voice was weird because I'm just coming out of a conference and I had been speaking nonstop 24/7 for like 3 days. So,
that's just. But David and I looked at it and said, "Well, that's an accurate quote. That's a great quote."
It's true. But the tides are turning now, and it's amazing. Like, back then you mentioned flat Earth to somebody, they just look at you.
Well, what is the difference? One of the things that I wanted to ask you, which we can get into a little bit, that there's a disconnect between some flat earthers, maybe you included, and the Flat Earth Society. The society people say is like a government run or something.
Yep, absolutely, 100%. And they want you to find the Flat Earth Society. Google will lead you to the Flat Earth Society.
Correct.
Obama mentioned it a dozen times, the Flat Earth Society, in his speeches. And that's because they want you to search Flat Earth Society, or search, if you Google Flat Earth, you get all propaganda. If you Google top 10 reasons the Earth is flat, Google will feed you top 10 reasons the Earth is a globe. Right? If you Google just anything, they'll put up their propagandist channels that just literally all of the real Flat Earth videos are hidden. That's why I developed this app. And the app bypasses Google censorship and leads you to all of the real information, so you can research yourself. I tell people, don't believe anything I say.
And Dave, just we're recording now. We've started.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, well, you're
ready to go?
You're welcome to use any part of this. I'm ready to go.
We're ready to go.
So it talks about the Flat Earth app there bypassing what he calls the censorship. So really, it creates an echo chamber. So it prevents people from seeing the other side of the argument. So it's quite evil, actually, the Flat Earth app. People don't get a balanced view. All they get fed is the disinformation and the lies from the Flat Earth videos, and they don't get to see the other side.
The very first thing I would like to ask you is, how did you end up becoming Flat Earther?
Sure.
And how long ago was that?
Sure. Oh, we're started now? I thought you were going to ask me that. Go ahead. Start now.
Yeah, that's it. Go. You're good. We're good. That's the question.
So in for years, I was doing a podcast looking into other untruths in this world, and we called it Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. It was a very viral podcast. And
so he was always a bit of a conspiracy nut to begin with. That explains a few things.
People started sending me stuff. Hey, have you looked into flat Earth? And I first I thought it was a joke. Then I just got annoyed with the people, and I just started ban for life. I just banned everyone that was even suggesting that I looked. I refused to look at a 1-minute video. It's just like flat Earth. That's just a step too far. I'm willing to look into all sorts of stuff, But flat Earth, come on. And then one day, while I was on Facebook banning people for suggesting I look into flat Earth, I was speaking to another researcher who I respect very much, and she goes, "Dave, you have to look into this flat Earth thing." And I was like, "Not you too, Sophia." And she sent me a couple videos. I said, "Okay." And as a researcher that's looking for truth, I should go in and say, let me check the validity of this. But I went in saying, I'm just going to disprove flat Earth and prove the globe and be done with these numbskulls. And for 2 weeks, I didn't sleep. Every time I looked, the harder I looked, the more evidence I would find for flat Earth, and the more.
This always amazes me. I can never understand this, but this is a story we hear quite often, that the more I looked at the flat Earth videos, the more I believed in a flat Earth. But the flat Earth videos are full of rubbish. So what is it? What happens? Do they get brainwashed? Are their brains broken to begin with, or does the flat Earth videos break their brains? I'm not really sure which one is correct, but I look at a flat Earth video and I see through the disinformation immediately. I don't know why so many people get sucked in by this scam, but anyway, that's the way it is.
Defend the ball, don't even know the ball, right? They don't even know their argument. So,
that annoys me. That annoys me a bit. They say flat earthers who say that, like we don't know our globe. That is so ridiculous. I mean, you look at all the flat earthers that think that carrying a spirit level on a plane is a great idea. All the flat earthers that think the plane should dip its nose. All the flat earthers that cannot understand how water is curved. All the flat earthers that don't even understand how the direction of down works. All of those things in our model, they chronically misunderstand that. How dare they say that we don't understand our own model? I mean, that's totally ridiculous. I have to object. I have to object strongly to that. Especially when you don't even know where down is. And stupid flat earthers also say that all verticals are parallel. That's not the globe. They don't understand the globe. Why are they telling us they're the ones that are wrong? Oh, dear.
Holy moly, the Earth is not a spinning ball. And, that was in 2014. And now, 11 years later, here I am talking to you guys, and they call me Flat Earth Dave. So that's how I got into it. I got into it kicking and screaming like I was being dragged into a pond of alligators.
Is that how most people get into it?
100%, yes.
No, I doubt that's 100%. I guess it's a fair few, but seriously doubt it's 100%.
Most of the flat earthers you talk to, they'll say the same story. Excuse me. They didn't believe it. Excuse me.
No worries. If you need to grab water, go ahead. Is there a way for you when you're not to eliminate the app for the parts where you're not mentioning, or eliminate the big phone behind you?
Yeah, I was gonna switch to other graphics, but I can.
Oh no, I get it. But do you have as a holding page something else like generic, like even just space behind you?
I can do that, or I can do I can put myself. How about this? How about this? A video of the flat Earth from a balloon.
Did you see that footage? I hope he puts it up again. That's another flat Earth deception. That one.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work at the blank.
This there? You want that or the blank?
Or the wood thing.
I like that if it's going to last. Does it loop and continue?
It loops. Yeah, it loops.
Okay, then let's use that. Let's try the other one.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay.
All right. So what was the question? Where was I? I was.
So my question was, are other people get into it the same way you did, kicking and screaming?
Yeah, kicking and screaming, and then it's only when you look that you realize how crazy the heliocentric model is. Heliocentric is the globe model that we're taught. Let me just show you. So we're taught that the Earth is spinning. People don't realize that the equator is spinning 1,000 miles an hour. That's faster than the speed of sound. We're orbiting the sun at 66.
The old we're spinning at more than the speed of sound. No. The speed of sound only occurs when you have an airspeed. The spinning, or the slowly rotating at one revolution per day, is not exceeding the speed of sound because the air is moving with us. So these are the kind of deceptions that they engage in, the kind of words that they use to try and twist things to their favour. And then the old oh look, it's moving through the galaxy, this, that, and the other. They don't understand, and it's all crazy rubbish.
According to NASA, it's a funny number. And then we're also chasing the sun at 500,000 miles per hour. And those are only 3 of the motions that are supposed to go on. We're traveling 4.5 billion miles a year at speeds that are incomprehensible.
They're only incomprehensible to flat earthers with puny brains. The universe is what it is. It's not up to us to decide whether it's comprehensible or not. Reality exists, whether we like it or not. Just because we don't like it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So that graphic is very misleading, by the way. But anyway, let's carry on.
To believe that the stars never change, because the stars never change. We're never returning to where we were before. We're traveling 4.5 billion miles. And I talk about these speeds. This is NASA's hypersonic sled track. It's going to go by at Mach 8.6. Can't even see it. You can't even fathom that speed, right? But if you believe in the ball, you have to believe that this lumpy rock that the Earth is, surrounded by curved water, which is smooth, but no one's ever been able to measure the curve.
No one. No, we have measured the curve lots of times. That's another one of my pet hates. No one has ever measured the curve. We've measured it many times. You just want to dismiss the science, don't want to listen to it. I can't see it. Oh, sorry. What's that? They don't want to listen. Every time we measure the curve, they dismiss it. So really, that's pretty annoying.
Adjacent to a void of pressure called space with no container, gas always violently fills the available space, but for some reason, gravity can hold it down.
No, that's not just for some reason. Gravity is real. Mass attracts mass. Gravity can hold things down. It's an attractive force. Gravity can hold the atmosphere down. There's no problem with the physics with that. The problem is simply in your head, right, that you've got this incredulity thing going on. And you're not thinking, you're not understanding the physics.
We are going around the Earth 10 times faster than this.
But you're not sitting beside it, right? You're traveling at the same speed. This is a totally irrelevant, and what do they say? False equivalence. I've got to use that term because that's the one the Flatties always use. This is a very bad example, very bad.
At 100 times faster than this. But when we go out into nature, we see stuff like this, right? Look at this. What is every sense in your body tells you this isn't moving?
Of course. Are you completely stupid? Of course every sense is going to say it's not moving because you're moving with it. When you're on an aeroplane, does every sense, you're sitting in the seat, all my senses say I'm not moving, but is the aeroplane moving? Of course it is. It's doing like 900 kilometres an hour, but all my senses are saying it's not moving. Every now and then you feel a little turbulence, But if you clear air, you're flying along, doesn't feel like you're moving. Why is this unusual? Why do they have to say this about sitting on the Earth? They're all everything's moving together. Why do they have to say this? It's ridiculous.
And only nonsense tells you otherwise.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Spectacular.
This is a beautiful place. And eventually, I don't want to tip you off, but we're going to go. We're going to look at all of the evidences of the, I call it the globe crime. And you're going to finally say, well, why would they lie? So let's hold that for the end, if you don't mind.
All right.
And that's the most important question of all.
Does that have to, because from what I was reading, what I did read was that your biggest, or the folks that believe flat Earth, the biggest adversary is NASA. Right. Is that correct?
Well, see, NASA, in NASA, is if you caught NASA faking a rocket launch or faking being on the ISS just once.
But NASA, these flat earthers, they say everything is fake that they don't agree with. So it's quite likely that NASA has never faked anything. It's the flat earthers who call it fake. As an example, I went to Antarctica on the final experiment, and I know the truth of that. I know that it wasn't fake, but the flat earthers are calling it fake. So when they say NASA fakes or anything is fake, you cannot rely on that, right? They are always making this stuff up. They have no evidence, right? So when a flat earther says it's fake, you can just toss that out the window immediately.
What have you caught them 1,000 times? What have you caught them? And here's the problem: a lie that big.
They're not being caught. No, this is just always flat earthers saying fake, crying fake with no evidence. And in every example that I've come across where they say something is fake, the evidence is incorrect, wrong. Sometimes they lie. And so, no, there's no NASA fakery. And they just make this stuff up just for a good story.
For people to, good people, and basically people are good, to conceive, like, how could they do that? How is that possible? That
they're not doing it. Just stop that nonsense.
Could happen. So,
not just that. How could you? It's like it's like the moon landing.
Yeah.
How do you? Why would you fake it 6 times?
Yeah.
5 times. I mean, that would be, if you did it, faked it once. Why risk faking it 4 or 5 more times?
Those are good questions, and it's amazing. I'm having a little issue with the sun coming through my green screen, so we're gonna have to deal with that. Sorry.
Oh wait, yeah.
So this is 1999. They got all the astronauts on the space station.
Yep.
And then in 2023, all of a sudden their things are floating. So I guess gravity on, gravity off. This is just them, being in space, being
all these things are explained.
All of the stuff they do in space is just to entertain people. So this is something happened. There was a glitch, and their screen changed. Everything blue turned orange, and everything orange turned blue. Right. That just shows that they're doing layering. Here's one.
This is my favorite. The flatties love to say that they're doing layering. And I'm going to say this. If you wanted to fake a video, right, the faked video would not have glitches in it, right? This business about layering and all that, there's complete rubbish. There's a reason why there are artifacts in these videos from the space station. And the reason is because this is transmitted. There's not a lossless transmission, right? If you were going to fake something, everything would be perfect unless you intentionally introduced artifacts. But why would you intentionally introduce an artifact like that? Just so the flat earthers can call fake? You don't want to leave. If you're going to leave some artifacts in like that, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. And because you have your transmission from the space station to Earth, there's video compression involved and then loss of signal. And those two things together means the signal cannot be reconstructed correctly at the other end. It's very simple communication science. And the flat earthers make some kind of conspiracy out of this, which is actually the glitches are evidence that it's not fake. The complete opposite of what they say.
I was talking to the guys on the space station. Let me just jump forward here. And he's always playing with his wire. I'm sorry, it's hard to see him. Maybe I can fix that. I don't think I can right now. And watch this wire. It goes right through his wrist. A little hard to see here. I'm sorry about that. But it's going right through his wrist.
Yeah, no, you can, yeah, right.
You can see it.
Yeah.
And let me just say, there's a couple that are really, really easy. Oh, and then, I'm using a green screen right here. This is NASA does all of their testing in a pool called the National Buoyancy Lab. Yep. And while they were doing a walkthrough there, they were showing the monitors, and then one of the monitors right up here in a second is going to show the green screen. And they accidentally, there it is right there, bam. Like, why do they have a green screen? Okay. I mean, maybe, they're making some demo video or something. I'll give it to
pure
them.
speculation about it. You don't know anything about it. You're just making stuff up.
Just trying to find something that'll show real good. Oh, yeah. So they were very excited. They came up, they had some fresh fruit, and they were playing around. They were always throwing food around, throwing water around.
Right.
And so here's a lemon. Watch this lemon. This is called augmented reality. I'll zoom in on it. Watch the hand. It goes right through the person's hand. Do you see that? This is just layering technology. You guys aren't TV. You guys know.
Video
they're playing with augmented reality. They're hanging from wires. They're doing all sorts of stuff.
Losses in
Chris
the
Hadfield,
the Canadian astronaut.
The Canadian astronaut. He loves playing his guitar. So these guys are in different rooms. They're in different studios. And he's holding the microphone, and he sticks it in his neck. The microphone is inside of his neck. He misplaced where he was. Right? And I'm just showing you a couple of the things.
Again, if you were faking this, you would never see that. This has got to be one of the stupidest arguments. Right? A microphone in a neck would not happen if you're constructing the video, right? Have you ever seen that in a CGI video? I've not. This is proof that it's not CGI. Once you understand what's happening with video compression and coping with losses in the transmission, that's how that can happen, right? Like, you think the people at NASA, if they were faking everything, do you think they'd be so stupid as to produce a video with a microphone in the neck? They'd never. I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit speechless with this rubbish.
I guess that begs the question.
Yeah.
How could you do this? How could you fabricate all of this? And how could you get so many thousands of people
not
to
thousands.
tell the story?
That's the answer, yeah. Now, how could you know? You can't. It's impossible. What you're proposing, if you were to apply Occam's razor to this, the truth, you could never... There's so many people that would have to be in on it. It's impossible, right? The fact that all these people need to be fooled, and they're very clever people, even though the flat earthers don't understand science, don't understand how it all works, so they can easily imagine and think the conspiracy theories that people would be in on the game, but they've got no idea. That's impossible. Totally impossible.
There's very few people in the know. Lots of people. It's very compartmentalized. It's longer than.
No. It's all complete rubbish about it. You don't know. How do you know, Flat Earth Dave? How do you know? You've never worked in the space industry. You've never done any real work. You just promote your conspiracy theories. You think you know everything? What's the matter with you? Really?
100 interviews, multi-hour interviews, and we get into some of that stuff, but we don't have time to go into that.
Correct.
Look, this guy's harness. You can see the wire, right? He floated by while these guys are talking live on TV.
I could say, no, I didn't see the wire. Thanks.
He's hanging from a wire. There's no denying that.
No, he's not hanging from a wire. He's just floating through space. There's no denying that. I don't know why you want to make up this wires business. The wires can't possibly work. If you watch all these videos from the space station, watch them all the way through instead of cherry-picking a few seconds here and there, then you'll realise the wires are impossible.
His hat around, they're always flipping something around. This is augmented reality. It's not real. And he's supposed to pass it to this guy, but then he moves his arm in a way. And
so it's augmented reality now. Okay. Right. So it's part real. Is that what you're saying? That they're suspending this guy from a wire, even though that's impossible if you watch the whole video. Right. Got it.
Watch. He's going to move his hand. He's going to think it's a pass, and he's going to grab the hat. Watch. Nothing. And he puts it away. Okay, I'm just looping it right here, right? And then the video after this guy's eyes are bugging out of his head. He didn't know what to do. He realized he missed the handoff, right? This hat isn't real, right? This is simple reality. This is
there's your globe.
Yeah, this is real. It's filled with helium, but that isn't real. Watch right up here. I'll show again. There's no animal, and then they beam it in. We know the name of the software that they use, and that software, that rendering software, has that little beam in, that little swirl there.
I've never seen that one before.
Part of it. They left that in by accident. So they make mistakes all the time.
Story is that on.
Where they? So what you're saying, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. That's why I want to be clear. That nobody ever flies to a space station that doesn't exist.
No. There's nobody goes into space. Ready? Hold on to your seat, because space doesn't exist. Right. Space is not what you think it is. Right. We live in an enclosed system. What's above where we can't reach? I think the highest we can go is about 72 miles, and that's it. And nothing goes above that. So the moon missions are fake. Elon Musk rockets are fake, and I can prove it. But I don't know how much time we have, but we can show that these rockets are fake. And where do you want to go? I can show you whatever.
Let's do that, but I want to get some basic stuff that we can.
If I don't like it, it's fake. It has to be fake because I don't believe
there's a dome is what is equated
to, right?
Doesn't
fit my narrative.
Whether the dome is physical, whether it's water, whether it's energetic, we don't know because we can't get there. But the Earth is this. Large bodies of water need containment. I've got my drink here, but if I didn't have a container for it, the surface of the water is flat. Right. It needs a container.
So see, they say we don't understand the globe model. They're not understanding anything. It's talking about containers and water being level, and they don't understand the physics. Why are they telling us we don't understand our own globe model? They're the ones who don't understand physics, science, don't understand anything about the globe. Oh, dear.
So it's a container. Well, the edge of the pond holds the water in. If it was lower than the water would flow away. So how do you have water on a ball in a space vacuum that's spinning? First, all the water would go to the equator if it could stick to the ball because of centrifugal force, right?
Yeah. This is a favourite of mine. Thanks for mentioning centrifugal force, or you did say centripetal, I think. But, yes, the force is so great. But it's only like 0.3% of the force of gravity holding something down. So the force to fling something from the equator is bugger all. 2/5 of bugger all, actually.
So is the shoreline around the pond. And guess what? If you look at Antarctica, with all of the countries in the world, and look at the average elevation, look at Antarctica. It's over double the next tallest country. Right? So Antarctica is the shoreline of our world. And guess what? Antarctica is free and independent exploration of Antarctica is off limits. It's off limits. Right? They have all of these bases around here, right? So these are world bases. I know what's interesting? If you go from South America to this base, nobody ever goes from this base to that base. Nobody ever does that because it would take in an airplane, it would take like 38 hours, right? Or no, 70, 80 hours it would take because it's so far away. Right?
I'm sure
so this is what they show us. All of these bases converted into a flat Earth. They take the map and they wrap it around a ball, and nobody is allowed to independently explore the interior of Antarctica. You get to go to the outside a little bit, but no one can ever cross Antarctica.
Well, now, one more of these questions.
I haven't got enough time to
and then I want to get to that basic
all
stuff.
of this today.
Where did the dome come from, or whatever it is?
So there's
so
the
much
question. The question is,
here.
so why are they hiding flat Earth? And the truth is, it's because they want to disconnect us from creation. They want us to believe that we are random specks, and I used to believe this, that we are just random
nothing to do with
specks that we evolved from pond scum, and we're flying through. We're just a speck in an infinitely expanding universe. They tell us that the universe is expanding at like a billion miles a minute or a second or something stupid like that. Like, what's space expanding into? What, like they make these things so big and so ridiculous that your mind can't understand it. And people are like, well, I'm just not smart enough.
Sorry,
you're not stupid.
Too hard
it's
for
stupid.
your puny brain.
That's the problem. People they defer their authority to a guy in a lab coat that has a pocket protector who's a failed comedian, right? They defer their authority to textbooks that are written by the Rockefellers, who took over the education system. How do you become a teacher or professor? You memorize and regurgitate perfectly. That's how you become a teacher or professor, right? If you want to become a teacher, all you got to do is get 100 on all your tests. So that means memorize and regurgitate, and then you can go teach that to the next generation. This is not flat Earth. Nobody thinks this is flat Earth. This is the edge of our Earth. This is Antarctica. This is like 200 feet high. It's the shoreline of our world.
But still, the explanation of where this globe.
Oh, that's the shoreline of the world. And I've travelled over the ice wall and beyond.
Created. It was created. This world was created. Now, however you want to take that, there is a creator. Like if you walked out, you're walking somewhere, you're in the jungle, and
here we go again. Look, the Earth has a creator. Yeah, that's okay. I've got no problem with that. But you're stipulating that the creator must create it flat. And I'm sorry, the creator can create a round Earth. No worries. There's no problem with that for the creator. I'm sorry that you are thinking that you must tell the creator how the Earth should be created. That's pretty rude, isn't it?
You don't know anything, and you come across a skyscraper building, 100 stories high, whatever. You can look at that. You don't know where it came from, but you know there was a creator. You know that somebody built it, right? So this world is intelligently designed. There is no arguing that. But the controllers of this world don't want people to know undoubtedly that there is a creator.
It's complete rubbish. It's got nothing to do with it. This is just a story you make up. The shape of the Earth is independent of creator or not, right? Whether you believe in a creator or not, the shape of the Earth is a physical reality that the existence or not of a creator does not change the shape of the Earth. So it's a nonsense argument.
That's why they faked the moon landing. That's why they did all of this, is to make people feel insignificant and
no, that's just your silly opinion. Even though I know that the moon landings happen and that the Earth's a globe and we're just a tiny speck in the galaxies of space, I don't feel insignificant. I'm sorry that you feel insignificant, but that's just your problem, not a problem with the reality of the world.
Literally have us plugged into what I call the globe matrix, and it's a prison for your mind. It's a total prison for your mind. And
you're describing exactly the flat Earth philosophy. It's a prison for your mind. You can't get out because you're brainwashed, and easy to call everything fake and to live in an echo chamber and not look at the evidence against your beliefs. That describes the flat Earth exactly.
A baby, take their ball away. Well, how about somebody that has their entire life built around the ball and aliens and extraterrestrials and stuff, right? It's the truth is, we don't live on a ball because that's impossible. We live on.
No. That's not the truth. All the evidence shows that we live on a ball, right? It's not, what you say is not true. It's not impossible. It's the one major reason why it's not impossible is because all the measurements confirm it.
We get into there's so much information on that. We live on a plane that was created. Now, what's beyond the shoreline of Antarctica? That's a great question. Lots of our leaders go to Antarctica, disappear for a couple of days and come back and go back. Maybe the real controllers of our world live beyond the shoreline of Antarctica. There's tons of evidence of that. But again, we don't need...
I don't think so.
The shoreline of Antarctica, or what's above as high as we can get, to prove the Earth is flat. I mean, we have proof. Can I show you two proof?
No, there's no proof the Earth's flat, but let's hear what you got to say.
Please. So if you're on a ball, there has to be curvature over a distance as you go around the ball. Now that's the curvature. So on a ball, the Earth is 24,901 miles around. That's what they tell us. And the curvature rate, with using their math, would say that 3 miles there's a 6-foot curve. That means a 6-foot tall person standing at the edge of perfectly calm water could not see the surface of the water beyond 3 miles because it's dropping behind the curve.
Got it.
So here is...
Well, that's funny. That's exactly what we see. Have you ever stood on the beach? That's exactly what you see. Well, what's the problem? Maybe I have to listen.
Is 1 foot off the water, and we're looking at these 2 oil rigs out here now.
Oh, it's the old refraction comes into play. Oh, yes, he's forgotten about the atmosphere. I don't know how he breathes because I know I breathe in the atmosphere, but he's got none because he says he comes up with this black swan argument, which is so many times, this is ridiculous. It's an insult to people's intelligence, really.
Miles, that doesn't seem that far away, but according to Globe Math, there should be 59 feet of...
No, that's the math is for a perfect sphere with no atmosphere. I'm sorry, but our planet has an atmosphere, so it doesn't necessarily have to conform to a no atmosphere scenario. This is pretty basic stuff. This is pretty simple. I mean, this is pretty deceitful for you to bring this up like this. And people fall for it. I don't know why.
Perfect. Now, there's a little atmospheric distortion here, but we can see the surface of the water beyond, right? There should be 59 feet of this thing should be missing behind.
No, there shouldn't, because you don't understand refraction. Sorry.
Behind the ball, but it's not. So here's a practical example. So large bodies of water lie flat, and when it gets cold, it freezes flat. And so here is a frozen lake. We got a camera 6 inches off, and we put these 4 lights out here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we put it at 8 miles, 7 miles, 6.
Again, shining a light close to a surface. So many factors come into play. This is not a test of flatness, right? You're not taking into account all the confounding variables. Sorry again. Learn how the scientific method works. Learn how to apply science correctly. This is not a flat earth proof.
Miles seen far, but according to Globe Math, even giving them a benefit of the doubt of their dumb refraction, which refracts things up, which is stupid, this should be 30 feet behind the curve. 30 feet below, like if this is the curve, below the curve,
Gotcha.
22, 15, and 9 feet. But they're all right here. So on a flat Earth, you got the camera, and it's looking at all 4 lights.
Right.
On a globe Earth, you got your tangent to the horizon, which is like less than a mile away at that height. Mm-hmm. And then they're all refracting up different amounts and stopping exactly at your tangent height. Or maybe this is true. I mean,
So there's no doubt that the light refracts around the surface of the Earth, and especially as you get closer to the surface, the refractive effects are greater. This is not an impossibility, right? Not an impossibility. So, you know, this is a very weak argument, and it doesn't take into account all the factors.
It's so simple. If you look at the Suez Canal, that was built 100 miles long. There should be over a mile, 6,000 plus feet of curvature, right? And it was built off of a datum line of 14 inches or something like that. There's 0 curvature.
No.
Hey, what? How did you measure that there was 0 curvature in the Suez Canal? I bet you didn't measure it. You're just confounding level with flat. But yes, the Suez Canal would be level, but not necessarily flat. Unless you can measure that there's no curvature. You're wrong about that too.
Gotcha. No ball. No curvature, no ball. And this is about control.
But we've measured curvature. Sorry.
Into the north and then back to the south. Why is that? Let me show you why. So here's a flight from New Zealand, right? So we got Australia around the corner here. You got New Zealand, and we want to go to Argentina and South Africa.
And why is he picking New Zealand to Argentina? Oh, I know. Please, sir, can I answer? Please, sir, I have the answer. It's because there are no direct routes between New Zealand and Argentina. And why didn't he pick New Zealand and Chile, for example? Because we know there's Auckland to Santiago. But this disingenuous piece of human garbage won't pick that because it nullifies the argument.
Says this is the great circle route, which is the shortest route. I don't know if I agree with that. Maybe, whatever. This is the shortest route. There's plenty of islands out here with runways for emergency landings. So people say, oh, there's emergency, they can't land, right? Let me show you the real flight route. It goes from New Zealand across the equator to San Francisco, then it flies to Texas, and then it flies all the way back down across the equator to Argentina. And let me show you something. What did your mother teach you? What's the shortest distance between 2 points?
Straight line. Of course.
New Zealand, San Francisco, Houston, Texas, Argentina. Mm-hmm. There's all sorts of emergency landings too, where someone's having a baby, someone had a heart attack, they got to land.
No,
they land in crazy places. But when you look at it,
I haven't got time to go into these.
Where they were flying over.
Not enough time to dispel all this.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, it is fascinating.
Well, I think that's gone on long enough for this video. We've seen a lot of interesting things there, but I'm still not a flat earther. Yeah, a few things on there that were said that some of those things I hadn't heard before. Have to go check them out. But anyway, the number of untruths there has me a bit worried. Why would I follow someone who doesn't know about our globe? Why would I take notice of someone that distorts the facts, that tells lies about things? Not yet. Not convinced yet. Sorry, Dave. So we'll call it quits for today on that one. And we'll see you tomorrow.